Lesson 2.5. Our objective is to solve equations with variables on both sides. Guidelines for solving equations with variables on both sides. Number 1. Simplify one or both sides of the equation first. Number 2. Use the properties of equality to collect variables on the same side of the equal sign. Number 3. Simplify the side of the equation that contains the variable. Number 4. Use the properties of equality to isolate the variable. And number 5. Check your solution. In this lesson, you will solve equations with variables on both sides. And I've given you a number of examples so that you can have practice working on a variety type of problems. So let's go ahead and get started with the first example. Solve each equation and check your solution. Well, just as the previous lesson, just like in the previous lesson, I'm not going to check the problems. I've checked the problems when I work them out, so I know the answers are correct. However, just for time's sake, I'm not going to check the problems because it would make the video extremely long. So, but when you're working problems on your own, I do want you to check your answers so you'll know that you have the correct solutions before you turn your uh, your work into your teachers. So let's get started. My first problem that I have negative 3x minus 2 equals 5x plus 6. I'm starting out the exact same way. I'm going to divide this equation into two parts, the left side and the right side. Now you do understand it's not necessary to do it. I think that a lot of students, it will benefit them if they separate the equation into two parts. So first thing that I have to do is I have to get the x's on one side of the equal sign. X's either need to be on the left or they need to be on the right. It does not matter what side the x is on, what side your variable is on. However, I like to move the smaller variable, the smaller coefficient over to the larger coefficient. So when I look here, I have a negative 3x. And my coefficient here is 5. Negative 3 is smaller than 5. So when I get ready to move my variables, collect variables on the same side, I want to move this minus 3x over to where the 5x is. The reason I want to do that is because I want to keep my coefficients positive. It doesn't matter, it just makes it a little bit easier for students when they get to their final step. Okay, so if I have a minus 3x and negative 3x, I want to do the opposite and I want a plus a 3x. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. X's cancel out on this side. I bring down my negative 2, bring down the equal sign. 5x plus 3x will give me 8x. Bring down my plus 6. So now I'm left with the two-step equations, a two-step equation like we did in a previous lesson. So I know what to do from here. Now I know I need to get rid of this plus 6, do the opposite. I want a minus 6. Negative 2 minus 6 will give me a negative 8. Bring down the equal sign, bring down my 8x. 6's cancel out. And I'm left with negative x is equal to, negative 8 is equal to 8x. So I need to get rid of that coefficient, so I'll divide by positive 8. On the left, I have negative 8 divided by positive 8. That's just negative 1. Bring down my equal sign. X's cancel out. And I have negative 1 is equal to 8. Now I like my variable on the left, so I can just interchange the two, and I'll end up with x equals negative 1. And that's my final answer. Now let's take a look at this next one. Now I have 7x plus 2x plus 22 equals 3x plus 4. Starting off the exact same way. But this time I want to focus on the left side of my equation. I have 7x plus 2x plus 22. Well, if you can remember when we were just simplifying expressions, this is an expression that we can simplify because we have like terms. I have a 7x and a 2x. Well, those are like terms that I can simplify. So I need to do that before I solve my equation. So on the left side, I'll add 7x and 2x, which gives me 9x, and I'll bring down my plus 22, bring down the equal sign, and bring down everything else on the right. Now this looks like a problem that we just worked. So I know I need to get my variables together. Once again, I look at my coefficients. That's a 9. On the right, I have a 3. Well, the 9 is larger, so that means I'm going to move the 3x, and I'll do it by doing the opposite. I'll subtract 3x. So 9x minus 3x will give me 6x, and I'll bring down everything else that I have left. 3's cancel out on the right, bring down the 4. Now I'm left with a simple two-step equation. You know how to solve these. You just keep simplifying until you get it down to a two-step equation, and then you finish the problem. So I have 6x plus 22, so I know I have to do minus 22 to both sides of the equation. Bring down what you have left. 6x, 22's cancel out. 4 minus 22 will give me a negative 18. So now I need to divide both sides by 6 because I have to get rid of that coefficient. The 6's cancel out. Bring down what you have left, which is x. Bring down your equal sign. And negative 18 divided by 6 will give me a negative 3. And that's my final answer on that one. Now, at any point during the video, if you feel comfortable enough to work a problem by yourself, go ahead and pause the video. Try a couple of the problems on your own, then restart the video so that you can check your answers. You always want to check your answers to make sure that your process is correct. So I'm going to move this so that we can see the last two problems. Okay, the next one that I have is 7x plus 19 equals a negative 2x plus 55. I always want to draw my little line down, divide my equation into two parts. And I know that I have to, in order to solve the equation, I need to get the variables on one side of the equal sign. They either need to be on the left or the right. And remember I told you it doesn't matter which way you move them, which side they're on. I prefer to move the smaller coefficient over to the larger coefficient. So I have a 7x here and a negative 2x. Well, the 7x is bigger. 7x is larger than negative 2x. So that means that I'm going to get rid of this minus 2x by adding 2x. I'm getting rid of it on the right side. So I'm left with 7x plus 2x. That's 9x. Bring down everything else that you have left. Negative 2x plus 2x is 0. It cancels out. Bring down your 55 on the right. So from this point, subtract 19 from both sides. Bring down what you have left. 19 minus 19 is 0. And 55 minus 19 is a positive 36. So now I just need to get rid of this coefficient. That's 9 times x. So I'll do the opposite and divide by 9 to get rid of it. 9's cancel out. Bring down that x. 36 divided by 9 is 4. So my final answer is x equals 4. And the last problem, in this example, we have 6x minus 2x plus 8 equals x plus 5, starting off the exact same way. When I look at the left side of the equation, I see that I can combine like terms. I have 6x minus 2x. Those are like terms. So I'll start off by combining my like terms. 6x minus 2x is 4x. And then I'll just bring down everything else. Bring down equal sign, x plus 5. Focus on the coefficients. I have a 4 there. And when you don't see a number in front of this variable, it's understood that there's a 1. So the coefficient here is 1. 4 is larger than 1. So that means that I'll move this x. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides of the equal sign. So that gives me 4x minus x is 3x. Bring down my plus 8. And that equals, x's cancel out, equals 5. Subtract 8 from both sides. That gives me 3x equals negative 3. Divide both sides by 3. 3's cancel out. I'm left with x is equal to negative 1. So my final answer is x equals negative 1. We're ready for example 2. In example 2, we're still solving equations. With these examples, you'll see that we'll have to use the distributive property on both sides of our equation before we can solve. So let's go ahead and get started. For the first one, starting off the exact same way, I'll use my distributive property on the left, and I'll distribute the 3 to both terms inside the parentheses, and that will give me 3x plus 3. Bring down my equal sign. Distribute on the right the 2. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 11 is 22. So I'll do the same thing, and I'll focus on my coefficients because I have to get the variables on the same side of the equal sign. So I have a 3 here and a 2 here. 3 is larger than 2, so that means I'm going to get rid of this 2x on the right, get rid of the variable on the right, and I'll do that by subtracting 2x from both sides. Okay, 3x minus 2x is simply x. Bring down my 3 and the equal sign. 2's cancel out on the right, and I'll bring down the 22. Now I have x plus 3 equals 22. I'll simply subtract 3 from both sides, and that leaves me with x equals 19. That's my final answer. For the next equation, we have 4 times x plus 3 equals 6 times x minus 3. I have to apply my distributive property to the left and the right. When I multiply 4 times x, that gives me 4x, and 4 times 3 gives me 12. Bring down the equal sign, and on the right I'm going to distribute a 6. 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times a negative 3 gives me negative 18. So now I focus on the coefficients. And I see that the 6 is larger than the 4 for the coefficients. So that means I want to get rid of this 4x. So I'll do the opposite and subtract 4x. Do that to both sides of my equal sign. Cancels out. Bring down my 12 on the left. And that equals 2x minus 4x. 6x minus 4x is 2x minus 18. So now I'm left with 12 equals 2x minus 18. So I'll add 18 to both sides of the equal sign. That gives me 30 equals 2x. Now I need to get rid of that coefficient, that 2. Divide both sides by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. I'm giving you the answer before I get to it. 2's cancel out. I like my x's on the left, so I'm going to just switch it around. So x is equal to 15. Now for our last example, they are a little bit more involved, but we can work them out. They'll be fairly simple. We'll just keep simplifying them until we get them down to something workable, and we'll be able to answer them. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Now on the first one, I see on the left and the right that I do have to apply the distributive property first. Oh, let me fix that. Okay, I'm going to distribute -2. -2 times x is just -2x. And -2 times 1 is -2. Bring down that equal sign. I'll bring down that 3x because I'm not going to use it just yet. And then I'll distribute the 4. 4 times 1 is 4. And 4 times -x is -4x. So now look at the right side, and I have a few like terms. I have 3x and that -4x, so I'll combine those. On the left, I'll just bring this down again, this -2x minus 2, the equal sign, and 3x minus x, 3x minus 4x is -x, and then I'll bring down the 4. Okay, now I want to focus on the coefficients. Here I have a -2. Here, it's understood that there's a 1 there, so coefficient here is -1. The -1 is larger than -2, so that means that I will move my variables over to the right. And since this is -2x, I want to do the opposite and add 2x. Okay, those cancel out. Bring down the -2. -2x, excuse me, -x plus 2x is just x. It's positive x plus 4. So now subtract 4. Still trying to isolate the variable. -2 minus 4 will give you -6. So that means that the solution to the equation is x is equal to -6. On this next problem, I'll distribute -7, and -7 times a -6 gives me a 42, a positive 42, and -7 times a positive 8 gives me a -56x. I'll bring down my 3, -16 on the right, plus 5x. Now I also see here on the left that I have a couple of like terms that I can combine. 42 and 3 is 45. So it gives me 45 minus 56x is equal to a -16 plus 5x. Now I'll focus on my coefficients. Okay. And I have a -56 and a positive 5. Well, the positive 5 is larger than a -56. So that means that I have to add 56x to both sides of my equation. Okay, bring down what I have left. Cancels out. Bring down my equal sign, -16 plus 61x. So still trying to isolate the variable, so I will add this 16 to both sides in order to get rid of it on the right. 45 plus 16 is 61. I have disappearing lines. My lines keep disappearing on me. So that'll give me 61 is equal to 61x. I'll divide both sides by 61. 61 over 61 is just 1. The 61 here cancels out. So that leaves me with x equals 1. Okay, let's move down to the next problem. Now the next 3 problems, they have fractions, but I think we've worked enough to where you shouldn't still be having problems with the fractions. I'm going to have to distribute on the left. I'm going to distribute the 1/2. 1/2 times 2, x is just x. And then 1/2 times 4 is just 2. Then I'll bring down my plus 3. I'll bring down my 4x. I'll just bring down everything on the right. Then I'll look and I'll see on the left I have like terms, and on the right I also have like terms. So now I'll go ahead and combine my like terms. Bring down x. 2 plus 3 is 5. Here I have 4x minus 2x. That will give me 2x. Now I'll look at my coefficients. Here it's understood that there's a 1 there, okay? And the coefficient here is 2. So my larger coefficient is on the right. So that means I will subtract x from both sides. My lines keep disappearing. So x minus x is 0. On the left, I'm left with 5. 2x minus x. 2x minus x is just x. Then I'll bring down my 1. Add 1 to both sides. 5 plus 1 is 6. Bring down my x on the right, and I'm left with x is equal to 6. On the next one, still have to distribute. This time I'm distributing the 3/4. So 3/4 times 4 is 3. And 3/4 times a negative 24 will give me a negative 18x. On the right, when I distribute, this becomes a 9x minus 6. Focus on these coefficients. So I have a negative 18x and a positive 9x. So that means that the positive 9x is larger. So I want to get rid of this negative 18x, and I'll do that by doing the opposite. I'll add 18x. Oh, let me fix this up. Okay, bring down what I have left. 9x plus 18x will give me 27x minus 6. Add 6 to both sides. I'm trying to isolate my variable. 3 plus 6 is 9. Bring down my equal sign. Bring down the 27x on the right. Now I need to get rid of that 27, so I'll divide both sides by 27. So that'll give me 9 over 27 is equal to x. Well, I can reduce 9 over 27. Nine divided by 9 is just 1. And 27 divided by 9 is 3. So that'll give me the answer of x is equal to 1/3. Now let's take a look at the last problem for this lesson. May look a little messy, but that's okay. We'll just keep simplifying until we get it down to something that's manageable. I distribute the 3 on the left. That will give me, bring down the 10, negative 3x plus 6, and then 1/5 times 15 is just 3x, and 1/5 times 20 will give me 4. Now see here that on the left I can combine like terms. So that'll give me 10 plus 6, which is 16. Bring down everything that's left. Okay, now I'll focus on my coefficients. I have a negative 3, on the left and a positive 3 on the right. So of course the positive 3 is larger. So that means that I want to get rid of the variable on the left side. And I'll do that by doing the opposite and adding 3 to both sides of my equation. Bring down what's left, 16. 3's cancel out. 3x plus 3x will give me 6x plus 4. I'll subtract 4 from both sides. So that gives me on the left 12 equals 6x. Divide by 6. 12 divided by 6 is simply 2. So that leaves me with x is equal to 2. And that's my final answer.